Bond, James Bond. Pens. Everyone carries one every now and again. I know I've carried one, namely this one, for a number of years now. Why would you want to carry your own pen? Obviously when you're out shopping, if you need to sign something, the counter staff will hand you a pen for you to use. How do you know how many other people have been handling this pen before it got to you? How do you know what those people have been doing? Have they been picking their nose? Have they had their finger up their bottom? You don't know. Have they been doing something disgusting with it? It could be covered in bacteria and filth. You just don't know. So I personally think it's a good idea to carry your own pen. As I say, this one I've been carrying for a number of years now, and in the last few years it was swapped out in my EDC kit, although I still carried it in my wallet. But I mean, in my EDC kit I started to carry this Wacom Bamboo, which is both a writing implement and a stylus for your electronic device. And then a few years ago I discovered tactical pens, so I purchased a few of them from the several Chinese online stores. They've got some LAIX pens here, and we have a Pocket Sharp, cold steel Pocket Sharp, and I carried this for quite a while actually, but as you can see it's a great big fat bulky thing really. Of these three LAIX, I found this one to be the better one. The B5H was the nicest one to carry around because it's not too aggressive looking, and it's quite a nice pen as well. This thing here has got rather a nasty crown on the end, so that makes it very difficult to carry around with you. And I'm going to have to look into probably taking that crown off to make it a little more friendly, but that's something for a future video, guys. And then last year sometime I purchased this from GearBest, a little small FURA tactical pen. This thing is made from stainless steel. It has a glass breaker on the end there, keyring at this end, so you can carry it on with a set of keys if you wish to. You can get it in plain colours as well as this very nice multicolour here, which is something I quite like. You simply screw it apart and back together again, and you have a rather usable pen there. Tactically speaking, something like this is a bit on the small side for somebody with large hands like mine, so you can't really get it just disappears into your hand really, so there's no way you can sort of like, you know, if you wanted to break glass it'd be very difficult. I don't know how you go about it actually, but I suppose you could do. It's a nice pen, but it's a bit on the small side. It's nice and compact, and it fits in my EDC kit quite nicely. My Hugsby XP2 flashlight isn't a pen at all, but it is, I think, quite a decent defensive aid. A couple of weeks ago I was watching Knife Monkey, as I do quite often, and he had a review of the LAIX, the LAIX B007 tactical pen, and I'd seen this before and I had thought about getting one, but I'd never quite got round to it. So anyway, I watched his review, quite impressed with the pen, ordered one myself, and here it is. If I can get it out of the packaging, that is. I have no idea why, but the packaging, the lid on the box of mine is really tight and you can barely shift it. Right, and so we get the usual little silica gel in there with the pen, and here's the pen itself. Quite a nice looking little bit of kit, isn't it, guys? Let's get him out. There we are. I'm still wondering whether I should have got mine in gold, because this is available in three colours: gold, black and this grey. This grey actually has a hint of blue to it. It's a very grey man style pen, this one, tactical pen, this one. As you can see, it doesn't stand out, doesn't look much, looks like it's ready to go. I mean, you've got the glass breaker tip here, but looking at it, if you didn't know, you'd think it was just an ordinary pen ready to write. Let's take a closer look at it, guys. And here is that glass breaker tip. As you can see, it's quite a large lump of tungsten set into stainless steel, I think. And then we'll move along to the barrel. You can see that lovely finish on there. Look guys, that's quite a nice finish, nicely machined. It does actually feel nice in the hands as well, this finish. Slightly roughened as you can see. Feels very nice. I hope you can see the colour there as well, that bluey grey, very nice indeed. Moving along a bit, and we get to the pocket clip, which looks like it's a very fine hammerite finish on there. I would imagine it's a stainless steel under there. And then we get to the end of the pen with the LAIX B007, yes. And on the end here, not quite a sharpened point, but I think there is a reason to this point here. It gives you something little extra for your thumb to grip onto, not like a flat surface at all. You've got some extra, the little step, you've got some little extra surface area there for your thumb to get a grip off. We'll have a look at that later on. Let's just whip the cap off for you. Popping down there. And you've got some very nice knurling here. This thing is very nice to hold and very nice to write with too. It's actually a very good quality piece of kit for what you're paying for it. I'll just run some dimensions by you guys. I measured these myself. Overall length is 147.5 millimeters, as near as I could measure it. It won't fit inside my vernier gauge, so I've had to try and gauge it with a tape measure here. The cap and this part of the barrel here are 13 millimeters. The clip itself is to here is 17.6 millimeters across there, guys. And if you take a look at the writing barrel, the bit part you get hold of, 9.9 millimeters. So what's it like carting this thing around then? Let's pop it on the scales. It's 1.25 ounces or 35 grams. How would that compare with my Parker? There we go. A little bit heavier then. You can see the B007 is a little bit larger than the Parker here. Let's pop a Bic pen in next to it, and it is more or less the same size as a Bic pen, lengthwise that is. And I've got just this other Bic style pen here for comparison, same length more or less, obviously a bit heavier and a lot more sturdy. I've been carrying this about for a day or two now with me in my pocket, and I had it in the coffee shop yesterday. I took it out, laid it on the table and fiddled with it a little bit. Nobody took any notice of it at all. As I say, you know, looking at it, it's very grey man, isn't it? You know, doesn't stand out as being tactical, doesn't look aggressive at all. Just looks like an ordinary pen ready to go with a nib out, doesn't it, really? Obviously the nib's in this end under the cap, which sounds very nice when you unscrew it. I believe the construction is 6061 T6 aero grade aluminium, and we have obviously a stainless steel carrier for the tungsten glass breaker in the end here, and I would think it's probably a stainless steel pocket clip, but it does sound nice screwing it together, and it's got a certain air of quality about it as well. It handles quite nicely. You can't post the cap though, it doesn't sit there, so it's something you're just going to have to leave lying around while you're using it. But it goes together very nicely. It's a very nice bit of kit, and as I say, you've got this point on the end here just to rest your thumb on, and I think personally that would give you a much better grip, and your thumb's less likely to slip off of it like it will be a standard flat end here, but that's quite nice. It feels nice in the hands. You can see it protrudes through far enough to be useful, you know, so if you want to break some glass, maybe you've got to trip the fire alarm somewhere, you're not going to cut your hand doing so. Or if you had to break a window, a car window to rescue someone, again, you're less likely to hurt yourself doing so because it sticks out. How far does this stick out? I have large hands, and this thing is sticking out nearly 2 inches. It's protruding almost 2 inches, 1 inch and 3/4, something like that. It's protruding. I've got to say I've got a large hand, but it sits in there quite nicely. And I say it's also very nice for writing with. Doesn't look offensive at all. As I like this grey actually. I could have got it in black or gold. I might still get one in gold just because I like it, and also Mrs. Rathbone has her eye on this one to drop into her handbag as well, so I'm still deciding whether to get it in gold or this bluey grey again. I better get a bit of paper and see what it writes like. Alright then, let's get the cap off. There we go. Let's try doing some scribbling, shall we, seeing as I can't spell. And it writes really nicely. It has one of those standard Parker refills in there. Let's strip it down. You can see what's in there actually, guys. Right, off comes the cap. Put it just there, and then we just unscrew this bit here. The little front bit comes off. You can see it's sprung loaded. There's the barrel. There's the bit you hold. Oh, there's the spring. There's a little teeny spring on this one, look, just on the end of the refill there, look. It's a bit stuck on there. There are its component parts for you. So we just pop the refill back in the front end of things, pop everything back into the barrel, screw it up nice and tight. And as I say, it handles very well. You don't really, I mean, you've got some weight at the back here, but you don't really notice it, to be honest with you. You can feel it's there. It's very comfortable to use. It's not like a thumping great big thing like this Pocket Shark here. And it looks just like an ordinary everyday pen as well. So it's very grey man actually, to be honest with you. I quite like it. Grrr. Okay, so what happens if you was to meet an overly aggressive piece of cardboard like this one here? You know, it's been a right pain in the arse. It's right in my face, as you can see. Well, I suppose you could actually maybe point this at him a little bit, maybe. Certain places. As you can see, it's making a few holes in him. I think that might persuade him to go elsewhere, which is what we want. As you can see, we've given him some new piercings, so we better get some pins and bars and whatever in there. Okay, so I've got this chunk of wood, which I picked out of the workshop earlier on. It's not too hard a bit of wood. It's alright, it's quite solid. So what we'll do is we'll take the B007 and we'll pound it a time or two and see what marks we can leave in it. Now, I hope you can see those. Let's get a close-up. The tip has left some fairly persuasive little marks in there. I wonder what it would do through clothing. Right, so I've got a pair of old trousers here. I've got the wooden block again. So we'll put the wooden block underneath. So we've got a nice plain bit at the top here. Wrap him up. And we'll give it a pounding again. You can see the damage that's happened to the trousers, I hope, just there. Let's have a look at that. Right, there's damage to the clothing, as you can see. The little holes didn't go right through it, I don't think. We made a bit of a mess. And just as nice a holes underneath. Again, quite persuasive, I would have thought. Right, so here we have the entry side on the cloth and the exit side, and you can see it did actually make quite a bit of damage to the cloth too. You can actually feel these and you can see them as well. Now, using something like this is going to be a little bit more restrained than a very sharp little knife, as you can see. Look, there we go. That's gone right in there. Do a lot of damage with that. Now, carrying something like this is a very last resort defence aid, shall we say? But it's better than a bare hand, to be honest with you, because you've got the it is a impact multiplier. It will this little small lump here will amplify any energy you put into the strike quite considerably. Mr. Cardboard there is more likely to take notice of you than if you used to try punching him, maybe. Stabbing him with that, he's going to notice it a little bit more and will hopefully leave you alone. As I say, the one thing about this this particular pen and the colour, this bluey grey, it doesn't shout "Tactical pen!" It's just very subdued. As I had it out in the coffee shop yesterday. Nobody took any notice of it at all, just thought it was an ordinary pen. So this is what you want, and as I say, it will fit in your pocket quite nicely too. And that's how I was carrying mine yesterday, just wandering around with it. I think it's better, especially here in the UK, it would be better to resort to one of these than a blade in any form of confrontation, to be honest with you. And as I say, you can also use it to write with, which is better than like we were in Debenhams yesterday, and the counter staff were searching around for a pen, and I said, "Are you looking for a pen? Because I've got one here." "Oh, that's handy," she says, and I was able to sign the counterfoil there on the Debenhams card. So that was quite good. And again, there was no mention of it. Well, that's a funny looking pen or anything like that there. They just carried on as though nothing had happened. I quite like this one. As I say, it is available in black and gold, and I'm thinking about getting the gold one because I've got as you've seen there, I've got a couple of gold LAIX tactical pens, and they look really nice. Mrs. Rathbone's got her eye on this one. So it's for the price I paid for it. What's it, about £5, something like that there from GearBest. It's not a lot really. The quality's there, well made. As you see, the stainless steel tip is screwed. I haven't managed to get this out of there. I think it's screwed in nice and tightly. There are no tooling marks on it anywhere. The quality's definitely there. I like it. Nice design, subtle, discreet. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the review of this little LAIX B007 tactical pen. If you did, please feel free to subscribe. You can click like if you enjoyed the review, and you can share it with your friends, because after all, they may be looking for a handy little pen like this to carry around too. Maybe you are. I hope I've answered your questions if you were looking to buy this pen. You can follow me on Instagram. If you do so, you've already seen pictures of this pen going up when I got it in. So I've had it about a week or so now, been carrying it around with me. You can support the channel if you wish via my Patreon account. That you can also use my very special GearBest link that is down in the descriptive text below. Click on that link, and all you're doing is purchasing something you'd like from GearBest, and you're helping the channel in that way because I get a small commission. If you wish to make a single one-off donation to the channel, you can do so via PayPal. Please let me know if you wish to do so, and I will supply you with my PayPal email address. Thank you very much guys. Please feel free to let me know what you think of this pen and the review. And I hope you'll come back another time for another review. I am looking into purchasing some more tactical pens from GearBest, and as soon as I get them in, I shall post them up for you to look at guys. But in the meantime, please feel free to pop by again in the near future, and I will catch you again then. Laters!
Rough.